Our next speaker will be Reverend Michael Faulkner, Institute for Leadership, who's been tending to the human needs of the people out in Far Rockaway. And in fact, Tony, he played for the New York Jets, and we'll tell you how the Jets could really beat the Chargers.
As our two comptrollers leave, I want to thank them and again for their comments and their hard work. I can assure you, I know the brevity of this hour and the lateness of the hour, but the human impact of Sandy has been felt by all of us. But I have been had the privilege to serve as one of the first responders in my organization. Go-To Ministries that I've been working with at a national level has been a part of the recovery effort. And I just want to say a few words about that recovery and what that means in terms of this storm. First, I want you to look to your left and look to your right. And now the room is thinned out a bit, so it's even more impactful now. But look to your left and look to your right. I want you to know that the people in this room are indeed the solution to the problem. When we can come together as business, labor, and nonprofits and government agencies, when we can come together as New Yorkers, I'm a pastor, I'm used to babies crying and all kinds of stuff going on. So, but every once in a while I'll pause and say, okay. When we consider the actual cost and all that is taking place, it is extremely important that we understand the solution. Our issues were three things that we wanted to do. We wanted to offer stability. We went in as first responders to the faith community, and there are hundreds of faith community. Right now there are thousands of volunteers every day that are in impacted areas that are working without pay as day laborers to do all of the work that was being done that before some of our government agencies, before FEMA showed up, we were there on the ground. Before New York City Rapid Repairs, and thank God they were very fast, but before they were in place, we were in place in terms of the faith community, and so in the nonprofit community. And so our first effort was to offer stability, helping people to understand that their lives were changed and so were ours, and we are there to offer them and basically to save lives. And secondly, dignity. Now that's something the government can't really do. That's something that's not really the role of government, but is the role of the nonprofit and the faith-based organization to offer dignity to people who have been hurt, to offer a helping hand. And sometimes it's just as much a blanket, a hug, a sense of that somebody else cares, that somebody feels their pain. That's very, very important for somebody who has lost everything. That's extremely important, and it's something you can't even put a price tag on, but it's something that is essential for recovery. And then finally, hope. Stability, dignity, and hope. Hope is extremely important. Without hope, there is no recovery. If people give up hope, they lose everything. And all the losses that we experienced, I saw people that lost everything. But they had hope, and so they were talking about rebuilding. They lost everything, but there was a sense of dignity, and so they had worth, they had value, and there was things that we could add on. Without those three elements, we really have no recovery. But with those three elements, we have everything that we need to begin to recover. And I appreciated the comments that you had in terms of the global situation. And indeed, I think we need to brace ourselves for impact, because this is not the last time. And I think we need to put in place protocols and ways to respond. Lastly, as I get ready to take my seat, being a part of an organization like Balcony, and let me just say Balcony, is probably one of the best things that we can do in terms of our civic, government, leadership responsibility. Coalitions like Balcony don't exist everywhere. And I have been part of it for a very short period of time, and since I've known Lou, it's been kind of love at first sight. And we kind of gravitated toward each other from across the room, and met and said, hey, let's do lunch or let's do something. And we've been hanging out ever since, trying to put together a diabetes program which we do, and Balcony is now going to be taking the lead in providing that for, or helping to provide that and seeing that that's available. But it is important that we be involved at a level like this. It's important that we get involved. And lastly, faith-based communities and nonprofits are, the first to feel the impact of the economic crunch because our dollars and donations dry up. When we are first responders, we show up regardless. We just show up with the human initiative. We show up with what little we have and believe that God is going to provide for more. And indeed He has, and He will continue to do so. But one of the greatest things that we can do, if you haven't already done so yet, the Balcony membership is in your packet. If you are not a member, you need to be a member. You need to know what's going on. You need to be a part of that. Lou didn't pay me to say that. But it is very important because it's through initiatives like this one that we can move things forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend.
And Reverend Faulkner, you know that there are 2 Jet fans in the room, me and Donald Kerry over there. And we've been suffering almost as long as you have. But we see a light at the end of the tunnel somewhere.